Hello and welcome. I'm Razia Athman. This is Football Planet on Africanews. Happy to take you around the world of football with the biggest stories on the continent and Europe. And by the way, for today we have a little bit of help from our very own Philemon Mbale, who has compiled something for you. Here are the headlines. South Africa win the 2018 COSAFA Women's Championships, a right step into the upcoming AFCON. But do they have what it takes to beat champions Nigeria? We'll find out. Deal or no deal, an announcement gone wrong just when we thought Pierre Aubame had been appointed to coach the Gabon Panthers. Their captain and his son Aubameyang said his dad did not accept the job, and Al Ahly of Egypt have made it to the CAF Champions League semi-finals. More on this and the Confederation Cup that enters the semis. First off, a look at the COSAFA 2018 Women's Championships, in which South Africa have emerged winners after beating Cameroon 2-1 in the final. The Banyana Banyana played against the guest team Indomitable Lionesses on Saturday at Wolfson Stadium in Port Elizabeth. It is the fifth time they are taking this title, thanks to Refiloe Jen, who put the hosts in the lead just before the break as she shot right into the corner of the net. Cameroon managed to equalize at 66 minutes, but eventually succumbed to Banyana. They are runners-up of this edition, ahead of Uganda and Zambia that came third and fourth, respectively. This regional championship is a thrust into the upcoming Women's African Cup of Nations. Now, Asha Komgisha has been covering the competition and now joins us from Port Elizabeth in South Africa. Asha, it's good to have you on the show. South Africa 2, Cameroon 1. What do you draw from this performance for both teams?
Well, of course, both teams have been using this tournament as preparation for the Africa Women's Cup of Nations that is going to take place in November in Ghana. And it's really timely because, for example, Cameroon have not played again since the AFCON final in November 2016. So this was sort of an opportunity for them to get tested and to see where they stand before the tournament itself. And then, of course, for South Africa, they played a tournament in Cyprus. They get where they were. And to have Cameroon and Uganda as guest teams at the COSAFA tournament really helped them to see where they lie, because Uganda and Cameroon have different styles of playing football.
Asha, what chances does South Africa have against Nigeria in the upcoming Women's African Cup of Nations?
Well, of course, them concerning involving Nigeria and South Africa are always emotional. And South Africa has only managed to beat Nigeria just once. And really, they have a lot to look towards the tournament for, and maybe now when they have a little bit of more players playing professional football outside of South Africa, they stand a chance. But Nigeria has very talented players who have a lot of experience playing in Europe, and of course, Afisat Oshowala, as you know, she's been 3-time African Player of the Year, playing in China right now. She formerly played for Arsenal and Liverpool. She leads the attack for the Nigeria team, and they'll bring that exact class into the AFCON when it comes in November. I don't really think that South Africa has what it takes to beat Nigeria, because Nigeria is not just a team with talented players who have experience. They also have the character. They have a physical advantage against South Africa, who are mostly smaller players as compared to Nigeria.
There you have it, Asha Komgisha, who covers sport in Africa, joining us from Port Elizabeth in South Africa. Let's now head to Gabon, where the Football Federation must act quickly to find a coach for the Panthers. It is under such pressure that on Wednesday last week, former captains Pierre Aubame and Daniel Cousin were named as co-coaches. That's after the dismissal of Spaniard Jose Antonio Camacho. As it turns out, the deal had not been concluded for Aubame. His son, Arsenal striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and captain of the national team, took to social media to criticize the announcement, saying his father was not well and did not want the job. Now, he called the move amateurism, disappointed at the National Federation for naming his father without consent from him. Camacho was fired last week after a run of only 2 wins in 17 matches in charge over the last 2 years. Cameroon captain Benjamin Mukanjo has announced his retirement from country's duty after new head coach Clarence Seedorf remarked that good young players don't compete in China or Asia. That was during selection to play against Comoros early this month. The 29-year-old was dropped as Seedorf put together his squad. Mukanjo released a statement that partly read, "My real level and that of my other teammates should have been assessed on the pitch before the coach made his decision to sideline any player." Mukanjo is based in China and formerly played for Monaco and Lorient as striker. He led Cameroon to the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations victory. He's played 55 games for Cameroon, scoring 8 times. His decision to retire is final, at least for now, even if the coach has suggested there is room for China and Asia-based players. Mukanjo wishes the team good luck for the next Africa Cup of Nations. 8-time CAF Champions League title winners Al Ahly of Egypt have qualified for the semi-finals. They beat Horoya of Guinea 4-0 in Cairo on Saturday. And Rayon Sports of Rwanda took 5 goals from Nigeria's Enyimba on Sunday in a battle to qualify for a semi-final spot in the CAF Confederation Cup. Philemon Bale has compiled the following roundup on these CAF competitions.
Egypt's Al Ahly made the semi-finals of the CAF Champions League in a grand style after a 4-0 thrashing of visiting Horoya AC on aggregate last Saturday in Cairo. The 8-time Champions League winners were too strong for their Guinean opponents as they set up a semi-final pair-up with 2-times winners ES Setef of Algeria, who sailed through ahead of Wydad Casablanca of Morocco in the other quarter-final game. Cup holders Tupuisa Mazembe took a shocking blow at home as they saw Primeiro Augusto of Angola go through on a 1-1 aggregate score in Lubumbashi. Esperance of Tunis also completed the last 4 with a 1-0 away victory over Etoile Sportive of Sahel. The semi-final games have been programmed for October 2 with the following pairings. Al Ahly of Egypt will welcome ES Setef, while Deportivo Augusto will take on Esperance of Tunis. Now in the CAF Confederations Cup, AS Vita Club of the Democratic Republic of Congo pulled a 1-1 draw in Morocco against RS Berkane to book a semi-final spot owing to their 3-1 victory at home in the first leg. AL Masri of Egypt equally sailed through to the last 4 by beating UMS Algiers 2-0 on aggregate. Enyimba International FC of Nigeria were too strong for Rayon Sports FC of Rwanda. 5-1 on aggregate was the final score in Aba. Raja Casablanca of Morocco completed the final 4 with a 3-1 aggregate victory over Kara of Brazzaville. The semi-final games will see Enyimba FC of Nigeria take on Raja Casablanca on October 3rd, while on the same day, Al Masri of Egypt receives AS Vita Club from Congo.
And time up for Philemon Bale to round up African performance in Europe. Some 8 players put up some amazing acts. Take it away, Philemon.
Thank you, Razia. And of course, several top-rated games were played in Europe over the weekend, which saw some African players shining. And you do not want to miss this segment as we begin in the Barclays English Premier League, where Egyptian-born Mohamed Salah was on the score sheet for Liverpool as he led his side into a perfect season start with a comfortable 3-0 win against Southampton. And then another African, Cameroonian-born defender, Joel Matip, started his first game of the season and made an impact with Liverpool's second goal of the day. Algeria's Riyad Mahrez scored his first goal in a Manchester City football jersey in an emphatic 5-0 away win at Cardiff City. The one-time best player of the Premier League came from the bench to score 2 times in that encounter. Nigerian forward Kelechi Iheanacho leveled things for home side Leicester City at the 19th minute of play in the game as the home side came from behind to beat visiting Huddersfield Town by 3-1. Now we move over to London to talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who was on target for Arsenal as the team beat Everton by 2-0 in a 4th successive Premier League victory. The Gabonese made it 2 after Alex Lacazette had put the Londoners ahead in that encounter. We move over to talk about the French Ligue 1, where one substitute, Eric Choupo-Moting, came from the bench to participate in Paris Saint-Germain's 3-1 away victory at Rennes. The Cameroonian, who is fighting for game time, seems to be doing the right thing at the right time. And to wrap things off, Lyon's Bertrand Traoré from Burkina Faso was the man of the match as his side beat visiting Marseille by 4-2. Traoré scored 2 goals in that game, while Cameroonian Clinton Dier scored a late consolation for Marseille.
Thank you so much, Philemon. It's definitely brilliant to see all these details here on Football Planet. We should have you more on the show, don't you think?
I think so.
All right, let's see also whether Mo Salah will emerge winner as FIFA announces its best male and female players of the year. What do you think will come out of that?
Well, I think it's a little bit difficult for Mo Salah as he actually did not have a very impressive World Cup participation out there in Russia. Well, I can place my bet on players like Luka Modric as well as Kylian Mbappe of the French national side who won the competition. And so it's still an open game, and in a couple of hours' time, we shall be knowing who will be FIFA's world best player for the year 2018-2019.
Great. Now, there's always more to talk about. As you know, you can reach me directly at Raz Athman on all social media pages. And for more on this show, go to our website, www.africanews.com, in both French and English. Cheers.